Plus, I'm also getting a ton of other stuff out of this. I'm getting a bunch of rune words, and I'm getting a bunch of materials for bosses, which is fantastic. Plus, these also have other things like fragments for gems, and other crafting stuff, obdusites, which is fantastic. For context, I am recording this in the midst of the season where Asmodan has made his return. It's rather amusing seeing some of the story stuff they've been focusing on in the seasons, which is not accessible here in the regular version of the game, or as they call them, the Eternal Realms. There's the Seasonal Realms, and then there's the Eternal Realms. So I do have my seasonal character going through that stuff, and some of that stuff does make its way to the Eternal Realms. Like, for example, Asmodan is now an actual world boss. But at the same time, you know, some of that stuff I'm like, man, I wouldn't mind if this was actually part of the story. By the way, I've also cleared a bunch of my stash because, considering the recent content and patches, a lot of that stuff is now outdated and therefore unable to actually be used. These I put here for my Necromancer because they've also added some new uniques, which my Necromancer went and got, which is turning my one big golem into like 3 slightly smaller golems for extra like attack speed and such. So I'm messing with that, so that's why I have those stashed there. Some of these I also kind of want to get rid of, but at the same time I want to give these to my paladins that I am slowly taking through the campaign through. And there's some other stuff here for my druid I stashed just in case, because if you look at my stuff here, like a lot of them is still like 800, but these are now, I think, called legacy items, because if I go to try and, like, masterwork them, I can't, because they are now legacy items, therefore you cannot modify these anymore. So, basically what I have here is my current gear and cannot be messed with any further. So, if I, you know, there's the chance, the possibility that I can go use the materials to go farm for more pieces, to have them be more current. Plus, of course, there's the new way they are allowing you to mess with items. I'm looking at the screen, I'm like wondering where I should put myself, just so you guys don't have stuff blocked right now. Hold on, let me see. With this screen up, let me see here. I don't want to put myself in the middle here because I could, if we see a cutscene later, I could be blocking it. This is where I kind of wish I had a setup where, like, I'm here, and then the game screen is slightly smaller, but I'm just not wanting you guys to have to like get super close to your screen and squint your eyes to look at stuff. So, I don't know, maybe down here? Am I blocking anything down there? No, not really. There's nothing down there. Okay. So maybe that's what we'll do. Let me look at this screen. Yeah, there's really nothing down there other than if you see salvage materials, and that's basically it. So that's probably a good spot to have me on the screen here. So, and then we can go ahead and stash some of these away as well. But like, for example, some of these things like the Judicator masks for the, you know, for that boss fight, I can't use them on my druid because we haven't progressed in the campaign far enough for her to access that fight. So I have to have her progress through the rest of the campaign to get access to some of these boss fights that some of these materials are used for. So that's one of the reasons why I also want to continue this. So, but anyways. There's also an event going on as well because of the recent announcement in the new season, a Treasure Goblin event. So that'll be interesting. By the way, I've also knocked down the difficulty from Torment 3 to Torment 2. I know that what the best build changes every season, but keep in mind that also takes into account things such as the seasonal mechanics. So whenever if I look up a top build for a druid, by the way, on max roll right now, what I would actually be seeing instead is the top builds for that season, which includes all the seasonal stuff. So what would be a top build there is not necessarily going to be the case here in the Eternal Realms. So, like right now, I think the Pulverized Werebearer build is actually considered an S tier build for endgame. But we've kind of committed to this full-on feral dire werewolf build with that focused on shred, especially because I built a lot into it for this build, and it's great for farming, like speed farming, in terms of like even on Torment 3, I can kill stuff in dungeons very fast. The problem is bosses. This build is not good for boss fights. There are some builds that are good for bosses. This is not one of them. So, you know, my only concern, I'm kind of in a weird place here. By the way, they've also changed a number of things when it comes to how the game works when it comes to stats and such. You'll notice things such as toughness and weapon damage. These are now the main stats here. The other stats that we used to focus on are not really a thing anymore. Like, they're still here, don't get me wrong, like strength, intelligence, willpower, and you can still here, you know, go here to look and see, oh, these are the core stats, and you can look at them there, and I guess you can also see them here. But at the same time, what is now considered things like armor and life and all that, that has now been just condensed into one stat called toughness. You can see it's the approximation of all your things, your armor, your life, your resistances. It's all just smooshed together into one stat. And then there's weapon damage, which, whether or not that actually matters or not, you know, but anyways, I'm looking at, and then I look at this, like, for example, I'm looking at this right here, and I'm like, like the one I currently have, I was able to get +6 to shred on this and +2 toxic claws, whereas the other one, it has affixes for like 172% more critical strike damage, which is great, but I do lose the stats to shred and toxic claws, which maybe I'm making too much of a deal about that, but at the same time also that one has, if you look at the bottom there, the critical strikes for 2.2 seconds instead of 2.6 seconds. So is that really that big of a difference? Probably not, but keep in mind we're talking about Diablo here, which is a game that very much is about min-maxing as many possible stats as possible for you to push as high as you can in the highest torment difficulty. It's always been kind of like a hallmark of the Diablo franchise. So anyways, so there's a couple things, by the way. I do also have there's of course the reliquary here. I'm actually saving up for a couple of other things, even though I can get something right now. I want to save.
A powerful calling.
Like, for example, the only thing I could get right now is this, but I don't really want to spend them right now. That's not a priority. I either want to get this with this, or I want to get this to go along with this, which I already have. So, and then if you go over here,
yes?
there's also, I mean, yeah, there's this armor over here, then you could also get this mount over here. But honestly, right now, I just kind of want to save up for these things over here. Those mounts, at least. I've gotten everything here.
Selection.
And then over here, of course, is where you have some of the other sets that cost a lot, including the new Paladin one. So, but anyways, we have a couple things to do. We're going to go ahead and do this first before we do the actual one, which is super easy to do. And super fast. It basically just unlocks the other endgame content that was added in this expansion. But we need to go continue our search for our friend. I'm also really hoping that nothing is going to go wrong with the fact that I actually do have Discord open in the background. I'm testing to see whether or not my friends on Discord, if they see I'm online, if they will see that I'm also streaming. I'm not entirely sure if I have it set up correctly to work that way or not, but I'll be hoping it's going to work that way, but we shall see. Anyways, if it causes some issues, I'll just turn it off and not really make a big deal about it. But in the meantime, Eru wanted to help us find our friend.
He's strong for having such a fresh wound. Though you recovered from yours like it was nothing. I might have helped a bit, sure, but not this much. What makes you so special?
I don't know.
I guess none of us do. Well, we'll say you're blessed by Akarat, and leave it at that. Come, let's find your friend. we can get a good view of the river from the southern cliffs. Let's start our search there.
Now hold on a second, let me just double check the sound here. Yeah, the dialogue is maxed. The sound levels are always so weird in these. But you can see on Torment 2, I can just one-shot these guys. I don't really want to, but at the same time, I'm also... We do have a lot of story stuff to get through, and I also don't want us to be spending time having to get through some stuff that kind of makes us go longer. Not to mention, some of these things can still hit me pretty hard. Guess while I'm at it, we'll also go ahead and pop some of this stuff here. Ah, there was a treasure goblin, didn't even notice it. If any of you guys played Diablo 2, you'll probably look at this and go, "Oh, this looks familiar." I mean, it's almost. I mean, we are essentially in the same place, though. Like this here, I mean, Kurast is basically also Act 3 from Diablo 2. Like the same area. In fact, we're going to be going to the same place we were in Diablo 2. For those of you who saw my playthrough of Diablo 2 Resurrected, we are going to be going to literally the same place. In fact, we are going to be seeing a familiar face, as it were. It's just once again what I've been saying about how they clearly were very much appealing to the Diablo 2 player base and not the Diablo 3 players.
Something the matter?
No. No, I'm fine.
I'm gonna turn the music down a bit. I don't want it drowning out any of the dialogue. Like, obviously, I've also heard Courtney Taylor do better, you know, voice acting her, because, like I've mentioned, she was Jack in Mass Effect, but, despite that, this is where we get to hear more of the actors that are playing our characters. It's one of the reasons I really like this expansion, because it's like our character finally gets the opportunity to actually be in the spotlight, as opposed to the other characters, and us just kind of being there.
Look, there. Someone came ashore. But what did they leave behind?
What indeed? I should remind anybody that if you have any kind of... I mean, this is a Diablo game, so... If you're grossed out by stuff, just giving you that heads up, that there is some stuff coming up that is going to probably gross you out. Just saying. Diablo never shies away from the disturbing imagery, as it were. But, yeah, you can very clearly... And you can even see, that's the same guy from the cinematic trailer that I showed earlier. The one that started this expansion.
Neyrelle was here.
That's him.
You said she kept a prisoner. Of what nature?
You've seen this scene before, in a vision.
Didn't think there was a death worse than the Hollows could give.
Neyrelle in the Soul Stone, and a corpse on this very boat. Thick tendrils spear through his chest, his agony frozen on his face. He died helping her.
A moment of rest. A moment he isn't whispering in my ear. That's all I need. The Kurost dogs. Rest.
Obvious parallels to, say, Frodo carrying the One Ring. The constant whispering in the ears. Just never relenting. You look troubled, Eru. Are you alright?
This boatman died screaming. I hope your friend knows what she's doing.
Yeah. So do I. Neyrelle was on her way to the Kuros docks.
The docks are northwest up here. You should be able to find your way. Go on. I won't be far behind.
Where will you be?
Just following a hunch. Go.
Alright. I will try to do some side quests here and there when I can. And there's also, like, there are a couple of strongholds in this zone. There's one in particular I do want to show you. I think it's really, really interesting. Really cool. But I can't promise I'm going to do every side quest in this expansion. I wasn't even able to do all the side quests in the regular game, partly because some of them were really hard to find. Some of them you really had to go out of your way on the map to go find them. But you can... you guys probably can't tell because I don't have a camera on my phone. Or, I'm sorry, let me say that again. Because I don't have a camera on my hand. Like, I don't have a camera showing you guys, like, my hand. Or both my hands, as it were. But, I'm not really having to press any of my other abilities. I am literally just holding down the right mouse button. That's all I'm doing. Because that's all I really need to do. I don't really need to do anything else with this build. Like, I could if I wanted to, but I don't really need to. Shred can just dash around like crazy and just annihilate everything in front of it. And with the ways that I'm able to just get my resource back and like never having to refill it, it's literally just a like dashing around, shredding everything super fast. I absolutely love it. It's just a shame that I can't get it to do really good single target boss damage. But it does make clearing things like dungeons or even pits nice. At least until you get to the final boss in the pit, in which case it could take a little while. But I don't know, it may end up depending on things such as like if I am able to find a better build, but at the same time, it's like, I like this build. I just wish it was stronger, you know. I don't know, maybe they have to just make some buffs to Shred or something, I'm not sure. To werewolf stuff in general, possibly. I'm sure there's a way I can be able to tune up this build to make it better for, like, single boss fights, even on Torment 4, but at the moment, alright, you can notice here the outline there. Yeah.
Someone must have seen Neyrelle. I should ask around.
I wouldn't go much further than here, stranger. Hollows will tear you apart, turn you to sludge. All I'm saying is, if it's death you're seeking, there's better ways to go.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
I'm thankful the barrier keeps us safe. I am, but it feels more like a cage than a shield. Day after day, staring at the same starving people, the same rotting wood.
Whew. I wasn't sure that would work.
There's the waypoint. Have you seen a young woman with a missing arm?
That girl brings doom with her. Riled up the whole town.
And wasn't it something? Haven't had excitement like that since the cobbler spiked us too.
Inda wastes her time with this grunt work. A wise man told her Inda's future is greater than mere fish and rope.
Didn't I tell you not to bother Ormus when the council visits? He has more important things to attend to. And so do you.
Ormus!
But Inda hates mending nets. She finds it tedious and unlikable.
Now there's a familiar name. You remember him, right? From Diablo 2? Ormus does not understand why you question why Ormus talks in the third person. Him. Yeah.
Oh, Geakul. That sour, coin-hungry temptress of the sands. If fate wills it, I'll be back in your greasy arms before next sundown.
By the way, do you guys like the wings I've added with this? I was kind of wasn't really sure I actually wanted to have wings with this this set here I'm wearing, but when I looked at how I looked at these wings with this set and I was like, they kind of match actually, just like color-wise, or aesthetic-wise, right? It just kind of fits. At least I think so. There weren't really any other wings I thought kind of worked with this, but I was like, this actually isn't bad. I'm still not crazy about the particular weapon choices here for this class I have, but I don't really have anything else I really like all that much, honestly. Like, I'm sure there's some other interesting options as well. I'll go and have this as well because, Druid and all that. But, like, there's some other ones here. Like, this one's a little bit more animated, but I think this is actually kind of fine. I could have a shovel instead. But there are some, obviously, much more interesting looking and animated axes. I think this one would actually work better. Guardian's Fervor. Yeah, I think that would actually work really well with this set. Like, there's some other really cool visually looking, like, axes and stuff. But, of course, they're in the shop. And I'd have to go buy the bundle in order to go get them. So, like, for example, if I wanted to get this axe, guess what I have to do? I gotta go here. And then I have to buy this bundle. Because you can't really get this without getting the rest of the bundle. I mean, at least it comes with other stuff. By the way, this set, it's for the Barbarian. So if I wanted this axe for my Druid, I have to get a set for the Barbarian. There's no option to just buy it separately, which is very annoying. But anyways. The meager spoils of a day's work fishing. The basket is nearly empty, bearing only a handful of rotting fish. You know, I've got the graphics turned way down for this to be able to run it on my machine, because I don't have the best of specs. But I think the water actually looks pretty decent, even on low specs, honestly. I imagine it looks a lot better once you have a machine that has much better specs that can really let you just kind of like see like how good the water actually looks in this game. I'm sure on a top-notch machine, this game looks absolutely stunning. Apparently there is a world boss that's going to be spawning soon. There's a number of other things going on as well, but we are focusing on the campaign. So it looks like there's a world boss that's going to be spawning in about 14 minutes. I guess we could have a shot at doing that. I do have 6 now, so let me see here. No. No. No, not for either of these. Still got to keep saving.
I saw her 10 days ago.
Where?
Fisherman's home. End of the docks.
Are you all right?
The fisherman was choking, covered in tar, begging for help. And she walked right past him. Barely even noticed him. Who does that?
Well, I keep bringing up, of course, I mean, the parallels between this and Diablo 2 are just all over the place, because of course there are. But of course, we remember what it was like for Aiden, or the Dark Wanderer, into carrying Diablo's soul in him.
Look at it. A hunk of old metal. But Akarat's breath and magic pulsing off of it. You can feel how old it is. That's the power of a Skatsini artifact. My grandparents practiced Skatsum, but they converted to Zakarum. They wanted to protect us. Was that truly the right choice?
Well, considering what happened to the Zakarum, probably not.
Any luck today?
No boats, no fish. Looks like seaweed broth for supper tonight.
You and me both. My daughters are getting sick of this stuff.
When they're older, they'll understand.
Not for a few days, but she stayed in this house. The fisherman offered the girl shelter when no one else would.
And what did he get for it? Eaten by hollows. Same as anyone else who goes looking for her.
By the way, if any of the cutscenes, because I had this issue before with another character, which is why I was like all concerned and actually prepared another character. If we have an issue with one of the cutscenes cinematics where, for example, say the game crashes during it, I of course have at least one other character ready just in case something like that happens.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Yikes. Pieces of this hollow's carcass slowly dissolve before your eyes, purged by the magic of the Gidbin. The black ichor of the hollows coats the wall. Small tendrils reach out to you, seeking the meat of your flesh. Pinned underneath the grisly corpse, you find a bloodstained page torn from a book. The devastation of Kurast. A first-hand account. Eru.
Spirits. What happened here? Did Neyrelle do this?
I don't know if this was Neyrelle's doing, but she is in danger.
Hollows. Wherever Neyrelle goes, there they are. She or that prisoner of hers are being hunted.
All I found was this page, torn from a book.
Let me see that. The devastation of Kurast. A first-hand account. I think I know who wrote this. There's only one place Neyrelle could have taken this from. Come.
This is the Gidbin, child. It protects us from the Hollows and all the evils of the world.
What about the fisherman? Why didn't it protect him?
I don't know, child.
Ugh. More of that foul stuff. Neyrelle was definitely here then.
Yikes.
Looks more like a madman's den than an archive in here.
Huh. Would you believe it was both? She must have been looking for something. See what you can find.
Khalim's will. The shattered flail hums with faint magic. It seems someone attempted to repair it after it was broken. A scrambled manuscript. This place was a sinking ship, and Ormus, a rat hiding in its bilge. The mad feast in Travincal was felt from one horizon to the next, twisting every sorry sot caught in its gravity. Until the Gidbin, that is. Ormus gave it life. The ship ceased to sink. An ichor-stained page. This page details Mephisto's imprisonment beneath Travincal. In lurid detail, it tells of the ultimate failure of that prison and the utter chaos that ensued. You recognize Neyrelle's handwriting in the margins. Don't repeat their mistakes. Oh, hello. Whose archive was this?
An old friend. Goes by the name of Ormus. I was just a boy when I met him. Scavenging old ruins, sticking my nose where it didn't belong. And he was the village nut. Caught me pilfering from his collection. Slapped me on the back and said I reminded him of his own boyhood. He's moved on to bigger and better things now.
Yeah, when we met Ormus in 2, he wasn't necessarily the village nut. That belonged to somebody else. These books all mention a place called Travincal. Travincal, excuse me.
Why would she go there?
I found her notes. I think she hoped to learn something from it.
To learn? Travincal is the site of the Zakarum's bloodiest tragedy. She's mad for going there. You're even worse for following her. And I'll not think about what that makes me for choosing to go with you. We'll need help if we're to survive. A Lightbringer's boon. Come, there's the ritual site south of here. I know just this spirit to call on. If we're lucky, he might even answer.
Yeah, spoilers. For ignore that thing over there. What else is happening in this town?
Well, Wekuke picked a fight with Welio, and Obawu was caught kissing Jutame. Oh, and Uak says he nearly caught a lion.
There are no lions in Nahantu, Ime. You keep spreading rumors and the children might just believe you.
What's funny about that is that I believe it was if you found all these right here, these tenets of Akarat all around the map, you unlock a Nahantu lion mount, which I thought was funny. 5 minutes. Okay, you know what? Before we continue the campaign, let's go over here and see if we can take on this world boss. I have no idea if any other players are actually going to be there. The reality is, right now, the majority of people playing this game are going to be on the seasonal realms, doing seasonal content. And there's not going to be many people actually doing anything on the Eternal Realms. I'm probably like one of the few or handful of people on the Eternal Realms right now. So it's possible I may end up being the only person there, but hopefully there's going to be at least 1 or 2 other people there. Oh, okay, there is one other person. Oh, looks like it's a Shava. Oh, there's another. So there's 2. Fantastic. So there's going to be like... Look at this. Alright, we actually do have some more people in the Eternal Realm showing up with this. Fantastic. So it's going to be a Shava the Pestilent this time. Oh, look at this. We got a werebear and we got a werewolf. Be like, hello.
Hello.
Well, I've shown you guys the
Greetings.
Campaign boss fight of Ashava. We fought her back in the previous act at the end of the regular campaign on our way towards fighting Lilith. Now you'll get to see the world boss version of this. Let me take a moment here to check a couple things while we're waiting.
Hello. Greetings.
Wait, hold on a second.
complex. I mean, it's not just, it might not be just such a simple, you know?
That's for it. Okay, so what you just heard, that's for the audio there from Big Lebowski, from that scene. It's part of a TikTok where the POV is you teamed up with demons and wreaked havoc on 2 different worlds, but forgot to tell everyone it was good. It was for a good reason. And above Lebowski, they have Illidan Stormrage. That was funny. As an Illidan fan, that makes me laugh quite a bit. That's a really, really funny TikTok. Oh man, that was funny. All right, here we go. Again, just holding down right click. By the way, if I didn't point out earlier, there's not just a treasure goblin event going on, there's also an event where when you turn in the caches to the Tree of Whispers, you get an extra bonus cache called the Gift of the Tree. Do have to keep a bit of an eye on my health bar. I mean, this is still Torment 2, so... I'll never forget the legacy that this world boss has. She was in the beta of this game. We could only get to level 25. And if we actually took her down, which was a very difficult thing to do at the time in a limited beta where you were very limited in terms of what you could do with your class and such, then you got a special back piece, which I have. Thanks. But man, it was not easy to do at all. And so then when people saw her in the campaign, they were like, no, not again!
Impressive.
There were people that were just like dreading having to face her again. Okay. Oh, it's a Stone Burst unique. Interesting. Okay. Nothing...
You have trained well.
Nothing special or anything.
I forge more than horseshoes and nails. Use it well.
These are explained at the end of the expansion, by the way, in case you're like, what are those?
The wonders of Sanctuary at your fingertips. How may I help you?
Just doing this to get rid of the little notification of something new. It always just gets a little irritating seeing that, and it's just like, ugh, stop. Get off the screen.
My magic's away.
Like when I see this, and it's just like, now I have to scroll through all the different titles here just to get it to go away. You know, it's like, come on. And of course, sometimes you miss them. And then you're just like, ugh, I have to scroll back again. Because at this point, I don't really even care about any of these. I really don't. These don't mean anything to me compared to, say, the titles you get in, say, World of Warcraft. I know they want them to feel that way, but it just doesn't feel the same way. Because to me, Diablo is not... As much as they tried to make Diablo 4 an MMO, like WoW, as if this is the Diablo MMO, to me, Diablo is never going to feel or be an MMO. It just won't be. Not like World of Warcraft. As much as they want to try and get that to happen, it's just simply not going to happen. You know what? Before we do that, before we continue, since we are at 5 whispers, let's go ahead and take out one of these things, get the full thing, and turn it in so I can show you the extra cache from the Tree of Whispers. And as much as I would want to farm some stuff on like Torment 3 or even Torment 4, as even Rax said, there is no shame in farming anything even on Torment 1. Because nothing different drops on higher Torment difficulties. It's just how much drops. It has nothing to do... Look, the Torment level does not affect the quality of the stuff that drops. It simply affects the amount of stuff that drops. Like, you have as much chance to get any really great Ancestrals or even Mythics on Torment 1 as you would on Torment 4. You just happen to have a chance to get some more stuff to drop. So it really does depend on, well, do you care about the amount of loot that drops as opposed to just farming for something specific? Obviously, if more stuff drops, you have more of a chance of what you want or what you're trying to specifically farm to actually drop, but you know what I mean. I love that I can just go here now, as opposed to before. There's the gift of the tree. Bunch of stuff there. There we go. Ah. Now, hold on. More rapport. And I think the pale marks is an account thing. So I could do this with basically like all my characters in terms of taking them to the den, just farming the caches, just to level all the aspects here in the Eternal Realms is basically what I'd be doing. Alright, so now let us return to the campaign, shall we? What is that? Oh, you'll find out later. I do hate that that's kind of spoiling something.
I saw the lion! Liar. It's true. It looked right at me, then ran into the jungle.
A lion, you say? Interesting.
Here! Sit! Best seats in the house. The slummy bastards come right up to the barrier. You can see them dig and pound and shake. Barrier won't hold forever, but until then, it's a hell of a show.
Just immediately greeted by all this, all around us, everywhere. By the way, they've also done some more quality of life stuff as well, not just in terms of like gameplay stuff, but just in terms of like characters and immersion. Like for example, Dario and Neyrelle didn't really have any voice acting in the base game, the base campaign. But in this recent patch and season, they actually do have some decent voice acting. In fact, when you... And I'm not just talking about them as well. I'm also talking about Belial and Asmodan, which I'm pretty sure is a different voice actor compared to who voiced him in Diablo 3. But, like, when you kill them, they will actually drop things like... I think they're called echoes, and they're basically like those lore books that we would get in Diablo 3 that would drop and would tell you some lore, whether it be like Deckard Cain, like this creature was this and its origins were that, you know, like there were those, but then there were also like those audio journals, like you could get ones in Act 3 of Diablo 3 where Asmodan is like giving orders to his general or what their plan is going to be, you know, stuff like that. So, like, you can get stuff in this where it's like, where they're each talking about different things when it comes to, like, what they're trying to do or what they're wanting to do here in their return to Sanctuary and such. And I was just like, man, this is, they're actually doing, like, more story-relevant stuff for these characters, and it's in the season, as opposed to, you know, in the regular game. And I'm just like, man, why can't we get this in the regular game? I know they do bring some stuff into the regular game, but still. People who are playing the seasons are not really doing so for the story. Like, people, like, you know, that are into the story like me are not really... you know, like, I'm more invested in the story of Diablo as opposed to other people who just play the seasonal content, is my point. Like, some are, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there aren't people who don't, other than me, who don't care about the story of Diablo. But let's just say there's also quite a few of them that do not give a crap about them. About the story of the characters or anything. They just want to play the game. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
I mean, it's a Diablo game,
Now,
so I totally understand.
Could you clean up their mess? This place was meant to be sacred.
But, you know, it's like how there are some people that will play certain games that all they care about is just playing the game. You know, like, for example, there are people that think that it's a waste of time for, I forget the name of the studio. The people who have been making the recent Mortal Kombat games as well as the Injustice games. There are people that are very much into fighting games and they only care about playing the fighting games and being like, getting into the, I guess, I don't know, the pro scene or just getting good at fighting games so they can be able to, like, go do in tournaments and such. Like, they only care about that. They don't care about story, and they think it's a waste of time and resources for the studio and developers to make a campaign in a story mode. Because it's just a fighting game. Who cares about story in a fighting game? Right? And that's just an example I'm giving. Like, that is a thing. And that's just an example of what I'm talking about, how there are people who don't care and they would rather it just not even be there because they only care about, like, the gameplay aspect. There are people that feel that way about World of Warcraft. There were people that got upset that Blizzard starting focusing more on the story of WoW as opposed to just the other aspects of it, you know, that do not involve any story. They were actually, like, irritated that there was more voice acting, more cutscenes, that they actually, you know, were doing more story-driven quests and such. You know. So I guess my point is that it's just odd for me that they would put that kind of story content in a version of the game that's not really meant or intended for those who care about the story. Because people who play the seasons, they're not really interested in playing the story, in my opinion. At least they don't come across to me like they don't care about the story. They come across as if they are people who are only interested in just collecting the stuff and playing the game. Like, they're not... Like, if they're playing a paladin right now, they're not playing it in the Eternal Realm like I am, where I'm actually taking them through the campaign, listening to the paladin's voice acting and seeing how, you know, listening to how they react to the story in the campaign. There are people who played through the campaign once and have never gone back to it and just play their characters in seasons and just quickly just play and level because they don't care about any of that stuff, you know. So why would we put story content in that version of the game that a lot of people don't care about it? I hope what I'm saying here is making sense. I think they should be putting that stuff in the Eternal Realm stuff for people who actually do more care more about the story, as opposed to the other version, and having it kind of be temporary locked up stuff. Because once the season's over, that content's gone. So it just it's confusing to me. Anyways, is there anything else that I must do to prepare?
No, you've done plenty. In cleansing the space, you've cleansed yourself. All that's left is to reach out.
What are the dregs?
Lost souls drunk on the toxins of the wilds. Usually travelers from other shores who didn't know a thing about this patch of sanctuary and never cared to learn. They twist the jungle to their needs, squeeze its lifeblood into poisons. They take and take and take. Careful you don't sip from their brews. You might find yourself hooked as they are.
What spirit are you calling on?
You wouldn't know him. He keeps to himself.
Okay then. I'm ready.
Heni oiso hana vihacho akarat.
Who are you to ask such a boon of me?
You know me, Great One. I am Eru, Elder Spirit-born of Nahantu, faithful steward of the Spirit Realm, and ever your servant.
Rise, Eru. I did not seek service in life, nor do I need it now. Tell me why you seek this gift.
We march on the cursed city of Travenkal to save a friend. She is in great danger.
Ah, my child. Your intent is pure, but to place yourself as a giver of salvation can only lead to disappointment and despair. If you do not give her the strength to save herself, you are only postponing loss. But this much I will do. I shall lend you my light to open your way into the darkness of Travenkal. And when next we speak, perhaps you will have found greater understanding. Eru, Wanderer, Sewuni Hu Pakik.
That spirit knew me.
You should consider yourself lucky. You've got less to prove than the average boon seeker. He's given us protection against the hollow rot. We'll never get a better chance than this. Meet me outside Travenkal.
I am also amused. He's like, you wouldn't know him. It's Akarat. Everybody in Sanctuary knows about Akarat. Even our Wanderer character.
My blood feels like fire in my veins. Could it be her? Lilith?
Yeah. We may have killed Lilith, but that doesn't mean her blood doesn't remain a part of us. And how that affects us, well, the thing is, we have also seen this in the previous games, how even if a Lord of Hell is destroyed, if an essence or part of them remains, so does their essence or their influence as well. Like you can see, like even when Mephisto was killed in Diablo 2, his influence remained. And the same goes for the other Lords of Hell. And even though Lilith was not necessarily a Lord of Hell, she is still his daughter. She is, in a number of ways, still considered a Lord of Hell. She may not be one in title, but being the daughter of one, she could certainly be one. In fact, that's what she was basically trying to do in the campaign. To become the new Lord of Hatred, as it were.
Join me. will you?
I like how I see this, and you know what it reminds me of? I feel like we are in StarCraft heading towards a Zerg hive. Which, if we were like the Terrans, or even the Protoss, but especially if we were the Terrans, this would be a very, very dangerous thing for us to do. Tell me about Travancore.
Travancore is the heart of every bad thing that's ever happened in Nahantu. A primeval was caged here once, broke his bonds, killed the city. Would kill the world if we let him.
So what are we waiting for?
Swells abroad as far as the eye can see, and you're chomping at the bit to wade right in. Slow down, friend. You may have a spirit's blessing, but this place smothers all holy things. To make things worse, the whole city is walled off. To keep us out, or Neyrelle in, I don't know.
Perhaps both. So what are we going to do?
I'll need to tend our connection to the spirit. Keep the flame lit, so to speak. The ritual might attract attention, though. So be ready. And watch my back.
Alright.
Wihacho akarat. Haeopa. Lakusa ipakun kehegan. Spirit lights our path. Come back! I can't save you a second time.
Alright, this light will protect us.
So long as you stay close. So, stay close.
Uh-huh. He's like a healer who gets mad for the tank or DPS breaking LOS because I can't heal them. Like, come back! You're out of my LOS! I can't heal you from here!
They're closing in. Stay with the light! Come back! I can't save you a second time.
He's straight up like, stay in my LOS! Or I can't save you. The way this place looks and acts, it does feel like as if we're in a Zerg hive, doesn't it? A lot of creep in this place.
Wihacho akarat. Haeopa. Lakusa ipakun kehegan.
This is one thing I do like, is that I can earn the stuff in the reliquary, whatever. The stuff from the past. From the seasonal battle pass or whatever. By playing my Eternal Realm character as opposed to my seasonal character. So, I'm not restricted to that. I can feel the blessing working through the light.
We'll need to spread this light across the city, one sconce at a time.
Gotcha. What is this beacon?
Travancore was a Zakarum city. These old hunks of metal still remember the holy light they once carried. They are anchors for the spirit I called on. They strengthen his boon, offer a place for his energy to rest, and a moment of respite. Not just for us, but for the spirits of all who perished here, too.
Okay. guess we'll go ahead and grab the armor for this cat here. Alright. Alright. Oh. Well. How about that? Nope. Can't get that one. All right. So some of this layout may look familiar. If you guys, I keep bringing this up, but if you guys played Diablo 2, you may recognize this place. Though it looks very different from how it did back then. You look like you want to ask me something.
Let's be honest with one another. Hmm? Wherever your friend goes, death follows. Now she walks right into Travancal. Right into the old prison of the Lord of Hatred. Tell me the truth. Neyrelle's prisoner. Who is it?
Mephisto.
Well, it's out in the open now. I'm not saying I like it, but there might still be time to save her. Are you sure he's the prisoner? Doesn't matter. Let's go. Into the dark.
To be clear, he wasn't questioning if Mephisto was the one imprisoned in the Soulstone. He was questioning, is Mephisto the prisoner? Or is Neyrelle? Given what we have seen in the past, I think we know the real answer to that. And so, like in Diablo 2, we enter the Durance of Hate. A very, very dark and horrible place.
The Durance of Hate. Mephisto's prison once. Now, something else. I'd hoped to never come here.
Yeah, you and me both. There was a lot of horrible things that we saw in this place the last time we were here. Or to be more specific, the last time that my Necromancer, the one that we played in Diablo 2 Resurrected, was here. Some of the layout is obviously a little different from how it was back then. But one of the things I'll never forget were us going through and seeing these pits with spikes pointing down, indicating that they would toss people into those pits, and if they tried to climb up, the spikes would be there pointing down to prevent them, to even harm them for even trying to escape. Which is just another extra level of messed up. Like, even back in the original Diablo 2, like, it still visually was, like, disturbing. But then, of course, one of the best things about the remake from a few years ago was how much more visually detailed everything was. Not really sure how to get in there. Like, this right here is sort of a recreation of those pits, but the spikes are pointing up as opposed to down, which is how they were in the original. So, like, it's a nice attempt at recreating it, but it's a little inaccurate. Again, if you guys want to see how it actually looked, you're more than welcome to head on over to my YouTube channel and see my playthrough of Diablo 2 Resurrected, where I played my Necromancer. Which at times, that got a little rough, that playthrough. But I was able to pull it off. I was pretty proud of the fact that I didn't die until I reached Neyrelle in Act 2. But then, of course, I reached him and I died, because of course I did. Everybody did. And then I just basically corpse bombed him until he was able... Well, not corpse bomb. I don't mean corpse explosion. I mean, like, I just kept dying and reviving and then going back and trying to... until he eventually died. Cutscene time.
Teeth. Nililimit tusot. Sukudong. Marsola. Akarat teeth. Chacham.
Neyrelle.
Mili dumbith si teeth. Mili lilimbith tusot. Sukudong. Marsola.
What has Mephisto done to you?
Chacham. Mili dumbith si teeth.
We have each played a part in what has happened here. Friend, you told her you trusted her more than yourself to do what she thought was right. You abdicated your choice to this child. And she has already been poisoned by the stone. Going to war with me will only make her suffering worse. Before she surrenders. A wasteful outcome for both of us. How long do you think she can survive?
So, just as a reminder, he was not that big the last time we saw him. Throughout the base game, he was a decent size. Hello?
Only she can unmake her prison. Seek Abulan, for he has strength to lend her.
We must trust him. Go! Into the portal!
Abulan. So, before we head to the portal, let me just reiterate this. His wolf form was not that big in the base game. He was a regular wolf size throughout the entire regular campaign. But this is the first time we have seen that his wolf form has grown. He's now bigger than us, which is a very interesting visual story indicator that things have changed since we put him in that soul stone. If you're wondering, Neyrelle is chanting a Akarat prayer, because that's essentially the only thing that is keeping her from fully descending into, well, either madness or to corruption from Mephisto. It's literally the only thing that's saving her right now. That's why she is just endlessly chanting it and basically pleading with us, don't stop me, don't interfere, because I might fall if you do. Also, I have to check this, because that voice for Akarat So apparently it lists, well, there's a couple of different things here I'm looking at. Like, there's an article talking about, but it's not really getting to the point of actually saying who it is. Let me see. There's a Diablo fandom one. Let me see here if it says. No, it doesn't look like it. Apparently it says that Joshua Chang is the voice for Akarat. Which I find a little surprising considering that that very much sounded like Jonathan Adams. I want to remind you all that Jonathan Adams was the gentleman who voiced Tyrael in Diablo 3. So let's just say when I heard that voice, I got excited because I thought Jonathan Adams was back, and I thought that meant that Tyrael was going to be back. I've been saying it throughout this playthrough about how I have been irritated that the lack of mention and talk about Tyrael, other than I think one time from oh gosh, what's his name? The Haradrim that we spent a lot of time with in this game. I'm actually blanking on his name at the moment, but like we know he spent a lot of time with Tyrael, going back to Reaper of Souls. So I found myself wondering like whether or not this was their way of possibly indicating that that he was coming back. So I'm actually, the things I'm pulling up are not about the voice actor, they're just about the character. This is because I'm sure a lot of people don't know who Akarat is. But basically, like, here's one article, for example, just really quick. He is a godlike entity that lives in the spirit realm and hears the prayers of his people who invoke him when they need guidance or protection. In life, Akarat came to Nahantu to learn about the homeland of his mother and ended up fulfilling an ancient prophecy when his powers of light developed. He would be visited later by the angel Yarius, who had lent him some of heaven's light to protect Sanctuary from the force of hell. But as a result, Akarat founded the religion known as the Zakarum, from which the Cathedral of Light would eventually emerge as a spin-off denomination dedicated to Inarius. Yeah. After learning of the land's culture, the spirit world, and prophecy that predicted his arrival, Akarat would soon go to battle with Mephisto, who had been tasked by his brother Diablo to bring the land to heal. He would defeat Mephisto and the Primeval, but imprisoned beneath the temple of Travancal near the city of Kurost. Akarat would then become a spiritual leader in Nahantu until his death, leaving various contingencies in place in case Mephisto ever escaped his prison. After dying of old age, Akarat would simply ascend to the spirit realm, where he would continue to guide and protect his people for thousands of years. That's kind of like a quick summary on the character of Akarat. I think that sounds like Jonathan Adams, but apparently that's Joshua Chang. I don't know. He sounds a lot like Tyrael. I'm just saying.
She couldn't be much older than the Fae. Whatever it takes, friend. We'll free her.
This is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring Rahir along. He actually contributes extra lines to the story as you take him through it. Neyrelle doesn't have long, does she?
No. I don't think she has long at all. That trance is the one thing keeping Mephisto at bay. If we interrupt her now, she'll be lost to us. But don't give up on her yet. This is Nahantu. Help is needed, so help is offered. And Akarat believes she can still be saved. That's enough for me.
I want you guys to remember that for later. Just keep that, what he just said, just keep that in the back of your mind for later, okay? Who is Abulan? How will he help Neyrelle?
Abulan is a spirit. As for how he'll help, only Akarat knows. Abulan saved my life once, a long, long time ago. Funny to be asking for his help again.
That spirit was Akarat, the prophet, wasn't it?
Who else?
Akarat. He was
beautiful. I know. I think he's the reason Neyrelle is still holding on. Akarat said that Neyrelle needs Abulan's aid. If he believes Abulan can help her, we'd best listen. Go. Leave Travenkar. Travel southeast. We'll meet in Korast.
Okay, the music is getting a little too extra epic at the moment for some reason. So now we head to Korast. Welcome to Korast, everyone. Get rid of that notification.
I'm tired of cleaning up trash and living in this rundown place in Lower Korast. Upper markets thrive while lower markets are left to wither away into desolation.
It's a little different, but still very familiar from how it was in Diablo 2.
When I was just a child, I met a traveler, just like you, passing through. Has it been that many years already?
In lore, yes, it has. It's been quite a few years since Diablo 2.
Sleep tight, little one.
Papa, I'm not ready for sleep.
Don't wake your sister. You know, children who don't listen will be turned into flower food by drakes.
Ooh.
I don't want to be flower food.
Well, then you better get to bed. Let me go ahead and grab the waypoint here.
Yes, you.
Who, me?
Eru sent me. He asked me to point you to the council chambers at the Sikurat's Peak. They've pulled him into a meeting.
Really?
Looked bad. Whose feathers did he ruffle this time?
Well, about that. Oops. But one of the things that to me is like very familiar when it comes to the layout of Korast from how it was in Diablo 2 is supposed to be kind of like the temple in the middle.
For they heard the call and
But
will
it's still a
shake
little
the
different.
gates of the hells. Brothers and sisters, do not despair.
What's the cause for all of this suffering?
The Gasra are no longer content to stay in their citadel. Now they venture out. They come in the night, stealing our people, taking them into the crater. With each passing day, more are lost. Our children, our elders. Most do not return, and those who do are changed. We sent our most skilled fighters to bring our people back to us, but they've not returned. We grow more concerned by the hour. Perhaps there's good reason for not yet returning with our loved ones, but please find where our warriors are camped. Help them bring our families home.
Have you lost anyone?
Of course. The curse has impacted every one of us. If there's any justice in this world, the Khazra will soon suffer, as we have.
What are the Khazra?
Ancient beasts. They've lived here for as long as anyone alive can remember. But why do they choose to come out of the shadows now? Without someone to defend the people of Korast, we will be lost.
What is the Dark Citadel?
That's the problem, isn't it? We don't truly know. Only one fellow who ever returned could speak of it, and he offered but 2 words. Cold death.
There's word swirling around town, claiming folks are being snatched up, their souls being used for some sick, dark ritual. Best to keep a lantern or a friend with you tonight.
I'll be fine. Speak with Ormus.
My first time in Korast. I'm from Tenzawi. What about you?
Shush! Show some respect. This is the Council of Korast, not your village feast.
Word is, there's been more foreigners seen in these parts with suited armor and charred skin.
That's rumor talk if you didn't see it for yourself.
Like I said, some of the layout of this place is very familiar from Diablo 2, but it's not like a replica. Some similarities, but they definitely changed it a bit.
My Lolo would always share stories of how he and my grandmother fled Korast. The way he spoke, things must have been horrible. I can tell the city has its scars, but it's beautiful nonetheless.
It was quite horrible. So who's ready to see an old friend?
Akarat insisted we find Abulan, and that's what I intend to do.
Oh? Eru speaks with the great Akarat? How novel.
I'm being serious, Ormus.
Hello, Ormus. I need to find Abulan. If there's any chance that he can help Neyrelle, I must try.
And who are you, stranger, to ask after Abulan?
A friend. My friend. I vouch for him, without hesitation.
Eru.
Abulan will not be easy to find. He has a mural in the Undercity, but it's in the old tongue. You will need an interpreter.
I'll interpret. If Eru believes Abulan needs to be found, so be it.
Thank you, Maka. Let's go before she changes her mind. Meet me outside.
Why do you speak your name aloud?
Stranger, watch your tongue.
Calm yourself, Iso. Ormus isn't some fledgling to be cupped in your hands. You speak to Ormus, stranger, but not Ormus alone. Sometimes he shares his voice with others. At this moment, you also speak to Adaja, the first breather. She greets you.
How do you know Eru?
How does anyone know Eru? He insinuates himself into your life, and lives are Usually better for it.
It's nice to see you, Ormus.
Looking a little pale? What's wrong?
We need to talk. So who is Maka to you?
Maka? She's a friend. Of sorts. A bit rude, a bit rash. We've butted heads over the years. You can trust her, though.
About that. Thank you for vouching for me, but,
But what? What's wrong?
There's something you need to know. I was once fed the blood of a demon, Lilith. That blood forged a bond from me to her. I killed her, but she's still a part of me. I know it. You vouched for me at the council. You called me your friend. Would you take it back, knowing what I carry with me?
Ages ago, when I was a child, a spirit came to our town. Wherever the spirit went, death followed. So a spirit born, Tatha, he stands up, asks the spirit, "Why do you bring death to my town?" The spirit tells him the truth. "I'm lonely. I just want some company. Walk with me." Tata takes the spirit's hand. Spirit and spirit-born leave the town together, bonded for life. The spirit will never be lonely again, never hurt another soul. The town is saved. But Tata is bonded with death. He can never return home. Never will.
So why are you telling me this?
You saved your home. This Lilith, she is dead. Just an echo in your blood. What you're feeling now is the misery of being the one who must live with her. Don't let the misery drown you. And don't fear my judgment of all things. You must remember the home you saved. Hold it close to your breast, because it's the only thing you have.
Thank you, Eru.
Don't get used to it. Go. You have a mural to find. The Undercity is through here. Go. Find Abulan's mural. Maka and I will join you shortly.
Alright. So do you guys remember the sewers of Kurast? The area beneath?
Thought my days of plumbing muck-lined tunnels were over. Oh, you're keeping me young.
Lots of maggots. And bugs. I recall the sewers being a very unpleasant dungeon in Diablo 2. Whoa! I got stuck there, wouldn't let me keep attacking anything. Like I just stood there and didn't do anything. I was like, why am I just standing there, not doing anything? Such a pleasant place, isn't it? The Undercity. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to a place like this?
The temples are full of little parasites, scavenging some relics here, some gems there. Oh, their mirth. They think the city a carcass. They think they pluck the last of its meat. Ormus knows better. He always knows better. The surface of a thing, ever the domain of fools. Better to dig. Better to rip open. Kurast still breathes. It has not died yet. Power lingers in its bowels. Ha! Almost digs, and digs, and digs. Kurast will walk again. No, it will rise and fly. All Sanctuary will see.
Yeah, we shall see, Ormus. We shall see. I doubt that's going to be touched upon the next expansion, because we're going to a whole new area for the next expansion, but... Like, there have been some things I've wondered about some of the zones in the aftermath of the events of these games. Like, what happened afterwards. Were they ever able to recover? Stuff like that. You know, it's like, this is Sanctuary. Like, a huge amount of people have died over the course of these games. Like, an absurd amount of people. Especially after the events of Reaper of Souls. And yet, here we are. And the place is, of course, very bleak, and there's not a very great outlook for Sanctuary going forward. How can there be? It's easy to basically, like, not want to play games in a setting like this just because of how incredibly depressing it is. But the thing is, and this is one of the things I actually really liked about 3 compared to 4, was the outlook that even though things were bad, we were at least playing characters where we could actually make a difference. And I'd like to think that about our character here in 4, but I honestly don't know. Of course, how they have chosen to approach the stuff of these characters in this compared to others is also a little different. Because I honestly have no idea how they're going to treat the characters of this game compared to the previous ones. Like, many people joked about the fact that characters from 1 became villains in 2, and they thought the same thing would happen in games going forward, that it would be kind of a trend. That's not really the case. In fact, people have actually made videos trying to figure out what happened to the characters we played in 3 by the time we get to this game. And the thing is, there's not really a lot of data available about that because, as I've been saying, they didn't really care. The people who made this game, in my opinion, didn't care anymore about anything in regards to 3 when it came to things like the characters and such. They only cared about specific things when it came to the story, but they wanted to do more of a follow-up to 2 as opposed to 3. It's all over the place in this game. Now, maybe these developers are actually going to try to do some kind of follow-up, like Ormus said, but I honestly don't know. I'm not really sure where exactly this franchise is heading. It really does depend. For one thing, it's going to depend on, I'm sure, the numbers when it comes to the shops, unfortunately, because the way that these businesses works with the microtransactions and such, they care more about who is spending at the shops as opposed to the actual game. If you don't believe me, well, let's just say they're putting out more content for Diablo Immortal than 4 because there's people spending money in Immortal. Yeah. Now that's interesting. An ancient mosaic. This must be the mural that Ormus spoke of. Figures kneel in worship, strange spirits dot the edges, but the centerpiece is missing. Where is Abulan? Over here? Oh, hi. Here we go.
It's in better shape than I feared.
Let's see what it says.
Do you know where to find Abulan?
It says, this time of year, Abulan will be on his fallow walk in the field of giants.
Haven't been there in years.
Not since your trials, I'd guess. Must be what? A century ago?
Maka. The Field of Giants isn't far. Speak to Ormus. Tell him what we found. We'll meet you on the road.
Alright. What do you know of Abulan?
Abulan is the mender of veils. He wanders all across Nahantu, sometimes beyond.
We haven't seen him in quite some time.
He may have left us for good.
But we won't know for certain if we don't search. So we search.
Abulan is in the Field of Giants. We're going there to look for him.
We hope you find him. Abulan hasn't been seen for some time. We don't know what you will find in the wilds. So the Council has decided to offer you some additional aid. These stones are ancient relics from the time of the first Druid. The runes inscribed on them will protect you from the evils of this world. Take them. Use them for good.
Thank you for your help, Ormus. Ah, that one. These runes you gave me, what can you tell me about them?
They carry the raw essence of magic. Powerful tools, no doubt. Better in a capable wielder's hand than collecting dust in a forgotten cache. Or so Ormus believed. He, of course, stole them. They protected Nahantu from Travancore, and now they can protect you.
So, this is when we, of course, first gain and learn about some of these other ones. Some of these can be really good, such as, like, you'll have these legendary runes of rituals, and then runes of invocations. The ritual ones are, you do something, which is an offering. The invocation one is, once you receive enough of an offering, it then triggers something, such as, for example, this will invoke the Sorcerer's Mystical Frost Nova skill. This one will do the Spiritborn's Vortex skill. This one will do the Pestilence Swarm. And there are some other ones that are really, really good and strong. My Spiritborn has a setup where, as they travel, they also do the... hold on. They will invoke the Druid's Earthen Bulwark. Like, it just keeps triggering the Bulwark as they keep traveling. It's really good for just going around fast and needing a defensive. Oh, got some transmog unlocked. Very nice. And as you can see, I've collected a bunch of them since they introduced them, because some of them are extremely important and valuable, even when it comes to things like, not just necessarily in terms of combinations for different things that can be really, really strong for your build, like the Druid's Petrify skill, for example, or the War Cry. And some of these legendary ones are so rare. Like, they are extremely rare when it comes to them dropping. But the other important thing about them is that they can actually be used to craft mythics. So if you go to the jeweler over here, you can go to jewelry crafting or rune crafting. And you can see over here, you can actually trade some for others if you're looking for specific ones. Or you can use them to craft specific mythics. So, like, for example, this requires, if you want to get this mythic staff, this requires 6 Yams, 6 Pox, and 6 Seers. So each of these can have different requirements. And some of these, like I said, are legendaries that are extremely valuable and very, very rare and tough to actually get them to drop. Like, when people were trying to do... acquired, like, the Shroud of False Death, one of the most coveted mythics in the game. Those particular ones, Cry, Moni, Bach, they very rarely drop. I may have actually had one drop when we were down there in the Undercity just now. But people spend a lot of time, or the Lith ones, those are very rare to drop. People actually go onto sites, I forget the name of the site, but there's a site people can go on and they will post that they are either have these and are willing to sell or trade them, or that they need a certain amount so that they can get them for making mythics. So here on the Eternal Realms, I have 12 of those sparks as well, by the way, which are things you can get in seasonal, and then they transfer over to your Eternal Realms. But it's one of the reasons why I've been stashing a whole bunch of these, in case I ever need them to make specific things. So, and you can be able to be like, well, how do you, you can just go here, and if I want to find the Cry one, there it is. 37 of the Cry. Now, what about Lith? I have 3. That's all I have. 3. So, now I think because I am a druid, I actually can make this staff if I wanted. I think my other classes I can use the staff or this polearm as well, if they wanted to. if you're wanting to know more about like what they do in terms of their effects, because when you look at them here, it doesn't really tell you all the other effects they do, or like this one will let you know it's +1 to all passives. So it's one of the reasons why Shroud of False Death is such a coveted mythic. It's so good in that regard. Harlequin Crest is also really good in the sense that it also not only provides armor and affixes, but also maximum life. But one of the other reasons why Shroud of False Death is also so good, like it doesn't tell you here that one of the effects is that after a couple seconds you go stealth and you move faster when you're stealth. So it's great for getting around. But that's one of the reasons why the runes have become such a pivotal and important and relevant thing here in this game. So I may possibly, I think there's a couple of mythics here I've never had, and I guess it's possible that if I had an abundance of these things, I would probably craft some of these just to salvage them, to have them as like transmog unlocked. But considering how rare and valuable some of these rune words as well as resplendent sparks can be, keep in mind you can make it, salvage it, and you'll actually get a spark back, but it does take 2 sparks to make them. Now, there is another thing you can do when it comes to trying to get mythics.
Come in, I don't bite. Not
and
like I used
that
to
is
anyway.
this here. You can actually use a couple sparks, and if you have an abundance of gold, you can spend 50 million gold to get a cache, which will give you a random mythic. So, yeah. I don't recommend doing this because you could get one that's completely useless to you. Whereas here, you at least can be able to make sure that you can get what you need to make a very specific one. This is something that people do in seasons because some of the best builds will incorporate some of these mythics. And again, it's really hard to show off some of these without actually like you have to go online. Because the game doesn't let you see this. It doesn't tell you what the other effects of these things are. Like it doesn't tell you what Tyrell's Might's special ability is. Ignore durability loss is not the extra ability it has. It has this thing where every time you do an ability, it fires off a barrage of extra like damage. But the game doesn't tell you that. So like you basically have to do the thing where you go online in order to actually like figure that out. By the way, I mentioned the legacy thing. You can see that at the bottom of my comparison for my current equipped item, which is they are relics of the past and cannot be modified. However, they are significantly more valuable when they are salvaged or sold.
Ever at your service.
So that is kind of worth noting. So anyways, before we head over there, let's go figure out what's going on with this Dark Citadel in the Khazra. Before we make our way over to the Field of Giants and find out more about Abulan. Hello, Moo. How are you? Hey, Moo, can you do me a favor? Because I know we're friends on Discord. Can you see, like, when you look at your friends on Discord, if it's showing that I'm streaming on Twitch? Because I tried to set that up with the connections, so that if it shows that I'm online and if we're friends, that you can see that I'm streaming on Twitch. Like, I can't tell if it's letting anyone I'm friends with on Discord if it actually shows that or not. It's not. I thought I had set it up where it was going to do that, so I'm going to have to figure out why that's not working that way. I don't know why it would be that way. There's got to be a way to set that up, and I guess I could maybe message Eggs, because it was showing that for her earlier today when she was streaming Stardew. And I just don't understand why it's not showing that. Because it's one of the reasons why I'm actually letting myself show that I'm online on Discord at the moment. Just because I'm trying to let it show any of my friends, hey, I'm streaming on Twitch, but yeah, I just need to know what that something is, and I don't know what it is. Like, I know I don't have to go to, like, into, like, say, my server and hop into a channel and stream it in there, because I know that that's not required for other people who are streaming on Twitch. I thought it was just you connect your accounts and that's it. But apparently that's not the case. And I don't know why.
I hear your voice, Master. Has the time truly come for our order to return to Necropolis?
I like that he has a skeleton mage there to heal me. That's funny. We'll do the side quests later. I think so. Like, right now I have it where it's showing that I am online on Discord. And I'm not entirely sure what else I need to change for that. Like, right now streamer mode is enabled on Discord. But it shouldn't... I don't think it should affect that, right? Oh wait, maybe I have it turned off where have it changed where it's not showing that. Hold on, let me see here. Oh, yeah, activity privacy. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think I have now toggled where it will share my activity. But I don't know if that's... I guess you can check if that did the trick, if all of a sudden it's now showing that I'm streaming on Twitch. That is strange. I really hope it doesn't want me to have the overlay. That would be really annoying. I don't know. Like, streamer mode shouldn't be affecting that. I figured if I make it where it shows, like, when I'm streaming, that it actually, like, lets people in the Discord see, hey, he's streaming, that it might bring some more people in. Because I know some others, like, I should probably also message as well. Miss Echo, because I know she has that set up with her Discord as well. But I also got to message Mur about helping set some other stuff up on my Discord as well. My server, anyway. And it's not like I don't have the Twitch account linked to this. I do. Like, the accounts are linked, so there shouldn't be any reason why you wouldn't do that. Oh. Thank you, Moo. Let me turn this down, see if I can. Alright, I'm watching this video you sent me really quick to see if I can figure it out. Alright, let me jump to the part I think I need help with. No. Okay, hold on. I need to double check this. Because I know that I have the Twitch account set up. At least I thought I did. Yeah. That is so strange. Something is off with the settings, I think. Ah, restart Discord? Alright, let me give that a try. Let me see if that will fix it. Let me check this again. Why is it every time I do... Okay, hold on. I'm going to turn off streamer mode for the moment. Because every time I'm trying to access this area, it keeps taking me to the streamer mode portion. I don't know why it's doing that. Yep, there's the Twitch account. Displayed on the profile. I'm just going to double check that it is connected. Alright, connecting your Twitch account to Discord. Yeah, it's the same thing. So now I think I have to turn streamer mode back on. There we go. Alright, there we go. Now I can see the thing where it shows that I am streaming. That did it. Moo, thank you so much for your help. Appreciate it. Okay. Sorry for those of you watching this on YouTube. But I wanted to get that fixed. Hopefully that'll let some other folks know, hey, he's streaming. You know. So, Moo, if you've ever wanted to just play like a super fast, slashing everything in your path werewolf, like this is kind of like, this is kind of it right here. This is like the epitome of that, at least the way I've built this character. Like, Moo, if you think building a character in Stadium and Overwatch is complicated, Diablo takes the cake on that. Because we have this whole tree here when it comes to what skills we're using. But, oh wait, there's more. Then there's the Paragon system, which is putting points into any of these and adding boards with extra stats and other bonuses. Yeah. Yeah. Fortunately, there is a website called Max Roll, which has entire guides on this, on how you can set up your build for your class. And this is just for like the one spec here, the one of the classes, the Druid.
Like salt in a wound, I have found the Hollow's irritant. Add ichor from the demon's egg for solution. Then drink the mixture.
Guild Wars 2 is one of those MMOs I have wanted to really get into for a long time, and I just haven't. I have characters I've made that have just been sitting there for several years. The funny thing is that because there's no subscription for Guild Wars 2, I don't have to like pay a sub or anything. But because I've been sitting there, the other day when I logged in, there was all this stuff like for anniversaries and such that I had not opened, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I've wanted to, but when you're committed to playing at least one or two other MMOs, you're like, gosh, do I really want to start playing a third one now? Like, just one MMO is time-consuming enough, but two or three, that's where it's like, nah, I think I'll pass. Or at least wait until I'm taking a break with one before I play another one. Yeah, the gift and mail spam is rather amusing. It's also a little different because, as I mentioned, because Guild Wars doesn't have a subscription method, you don't really feel the need to keep playing it because you're not having to pay something, whether it be every month or even every year or every several months. You tend to feel more compelled to play something when you know you are paying for it on a regular basis, you know. Like, because I'm a much more active player, but also an active subscriber to WoW, I feel more compelled to play WoW compared to Guild Wars. Even though right now I'm on a break from WoW until the next expansion comes out in early March. Because I'm essentially done with Legion Remix. Like, the other night, I got a couple more extra kills on the boss I need to get the items, and then I spent the currency to get more stuff from the vendors, and I was like, alright, well, I think I'm done. Essentially. It's funny you mentioned the Halloween part, though, Moo, because of how, like in WoW, there is a specific Halloween event that, for those of us who farm certain things, we tend to play during that because there are certain limited time things to get during Halloween only. Then we have to wait a whole another year if we don't get them to try and farm them again. Like the mount for the Headless Horseman, for example. That took me quite a while. Oh, an unfinished meal. The food in this pot is cold, and the embers beneath drowned in mud. Whoever prepared this food never came back for it. The supplies that were once in these baskets seem to have been carried off. All that could be spared was left behind.
I need to keep looking. I'm too late.
This man has been cleaved in two. Blood is still flowing from what remains. He was killed very recently. Perhaps there is still someone left alive up ahead. Not many by the looks of it.
Over here. Please.
What happened here?
The Khazra found us. Just too powerful. Please. Help my friends. Find our missing people. Hidden path. Up the mountain. Cold. So cold.
Yeah. Popped my dire werewolf cooldown for nothing. Ancient Nexus. Like how my wings are clipping into my horse behind me. Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel.
Stop where you are! You're neither Khazra nor Kurastian. What's your purpose here? Speak!
To clear them out. I was sent by Priestess Koali to find you.
Then you saw what happened to the others. We failed the priestess. Failed Gorast.
Your loss is great. I am sorry.
It's nothing compared to what will happen if the Khazra are left unchecked. The labyrinth's threshold lies just beyond this wall. Can you not hear them? The sound of Khazra chills us to the bone. We made it this far, but look at us. So few have survived. We were sent here to put a stop to the infernal machinations that fester in this crater. And yet we cannot bring ourselves to step foot inside.
Don't worry. I'll take care of it.
Perhaps you are the warrior Kuras needs. Godspeed, Wanderer.
I got this. So yeah, this is a soul siphon. Yeah. I literally let it siphon me to power it. What I like about this is that it's a nice tease, or rather preview, of what to expect when you do this raid. Because that is what this is. This is the entrance to the raid they introduced in this expansion. And so we unlock the waypoint for the Ancient Nexus. Time passes, and as you can see, now they're all set up here. Not bad, yes?
An understatement. I had covered my ears to keep from hearing the sounds of your demise.
Oh, gee, thanks.
But now I regret not hearing the music of you slaughtering the Gasra. You have emboldened this wanderer. But I fear even you won't be able to push deeper into the Citadel on your own. Only a combined effort can defeat these beasts. We'll remain here and assist you however we can. Even with your power, it seems wise to find others who can help you on this path.
She's not wrong. There are mechanics in this place that literally require other players. So, this raid is separated into 3 separate wings. The Enclave of Strife, which you do first. And then this one over here, which you do second. And then the final one up here. And each one... yeah. Some of these can be rather rough. I've done this place a few times. Of course, when this was new, a lot of people wanted to do it. Partly because you're also incentivized to do it. Because you do all 3 wings, you get a special extra bonus cash. In hindsight, it's really... I don't think really that many people bother doing this anymore, honestly, because there's not much reason or incentive to actually bother doing it. But they do at least give you an extra base here with everything here. A stash, an altar, a vendor to be able to get some other stuff if you want, a blacksmith. There's even a special vendor here just for this place for things like some scrolls and elixirs that are specifically designed for this place with its own separate currency, which you can see I actually have thousands of these things. I didn't even realize I had. I'll just go ahead and get a whole bunch, and then we'll unlock them and collect a bunch. I have all this currency, I may as well use it, right? Alright. Where's the jeweler? Let's salvage these. And then we'll also stash those away. Wait, no, not there. There it is. Put those there. And we'll stash these there too. It is a fun raid, don't get me wrong. Like, the whole thing is fun. But at least it was the first time. Doing it now, it's like, Well, the world boss is going to spawn in 1 minute. I guess we may as well just go there and take on this world boss. We'll see if it's a different one this time. Earlier in the stream, it was a Shava. Hopefully it's Azmodan, so I can... Although I think I've already shown Azmodan on stream already, but... Then again, this is going to be part of the playthrough on YouTube, so for the YouTube viewers... I would get to show you the Azmodan fight for the first time, so... Alright, there's at least one other player here. Oh, it is going to be Azmodan. Perfect. And so, Moo, if you also have not seen what a world boss is like... This is your opportunity. You're also going to get to see a specific one. This is Azmodan, one of, in the lore of Diablo, he is one of the 7 Lords of Hell. His title specifically is the Lord of Sin. In Diablo 3, they tried to portray him as this tactical military general, but it didn't really come across that way or work that way. But he was his own separate boss fight. He was also one of my favorite characters to play in Heroes of the Storm, but that's different. in Heroes of the Storm, he was actually really good at like pushing lanes, because he would summon minions that you could use to push towers and farm minions and such. He was really good at that, and I really enjoyed playing him. He was one of my favorites. He even became his own meme, because he would do this ability where he would toss this fireball over his head, wherever you would target on the map. And so he became affectionately nicknamed, instead of Asmodan, as Asmo Dunk. They even came out with skins for him where he was wearing some basketball jerseys, and when he did the dunk instead of over his head, he would do it like a skyhook, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It was very, very funny, and I really enjoyed it. And there are times I do feel an itch to go back to Heroes of the Storm and play a game or two of Asmodan. The problem is they changed him quite a bit over the years, and the way I used to play him is not really the way you play him anymore, unfortunately. Like, these days it's more about his single target laser beam and such, and that's just not as fun for me anymore, you know, compared to the other way you would play him. The ferocity stacks. Ah! Oh, that gain ferocity, gain ferocity, gain ferocity. I love the two portals opening, they just literally just split him in half. Wow. I don't think my druid here has any corrupted tongues of Asmodan for this. No. No, we do not. What a shame. Oh well. Well, since we are at 5 of 10, let's go take out this abomination real quick and go get our cash from the Tree of Whispers before we continue the campaign. Oh, hi, Duriel. It's very pleasant to all of a sudden just see an image pop up on your screen of the Lord of Pain, or the Lord of Maggots, as it were.
The forge is always hot.
But I do want to reiterate that I do like what they have done with the Lords of Hell in this patch, with the extra like voice acting and extra story content that was not there before. I'm very glad they decided to do that, even though it's part of the seasonal content, which is limited time, instead of the actual Eternal Realms servers. Like, I still reiterate that I just don't understand putting story content in limited time seasons. I don't understand that. But anyways.
It is done.
Ooh. Greater collection of materials, yes. Alright.
Greetings. How shall I guide my hammer? What's still got some good in it?
You know what? I'm actually going to turn the difficulty back up to Torment 3. Only because I'm not wanting to one-shot some of the bosses in this campaign. You know, am I concerned they could one-shot me? Possibly, but we will. We'll deal with that when we get there. Alright. I can do that later. So we are supposed to make our way over here to the Field of Giants. I guess we will, let's go to Kurast, and then we'll just make our way over there. There's a familiar mask. All right. I think there actually is like a decent like pause point in the campaign of this expansion where if you wanted to go around and do side quests, it's probably a decent point in the story. There are certain games in their campaigns that have these kind of things. Usually one of my favorite examples when it comes to talking about this stuff is Elder Scrolls. Like, I've discussed possible pause points when it comes to the campaigns for both Oblivion and Skyrim. Because, well, to me, it doesn't really make much sense for you to, say, for example, go off and do a whole bunch of side content when, say, you first exit the prison in Oblivion, when you are urgently trying to get the amulet to Joffrey while also trying to see if you can find Martin. And pause points for Skyrim, I mean, there are just a couple of possible different ones, but if there's a feeling of, like, urgency in the story of, we have to do that, you know, then there's not really that feeling of, well, let me now just go wander off and go do some rather random side stuff. You know? This was also something else that comes up in some of the other Bethesda games, like Fallout, for example, where, like, when you first exit and you're, like, trying to find your son, but then you go off and start to make a farm because side content. You know, it doesn't really make that much sense at that point. I think Angry Joe actually made a joke about this in his review of the game, where you first have this urgency of wanting to find your son, then all of a sudden you get distracted by all this side stuff, and then you just almost completely forget about it. Same thing with Fallout 3. Like, I think some of us have discussed that usually one of the better points to pause the main story in 3 is after you find the dad. And then it's like, alright, now we can kind of take a break from that and go do some side stuff, you know. And right now in this, you know, and I'm bringing this up in regards to, like, well, there's side quests here, but we're trying to really help out Neyrelle here, because she is, like, on the clock here.
Ecofall was built off the hard work of mining and trading Eco. I feel immense pride to see the town grow over the years.
So we kind of have this priority of, we need to do this to help Neyrelle, and then once she is okay,
I need to keep looking.
then we can probably go do some side stuff.
My Amma would often tell the tale of our ancestors who helped take down the giants when they walked this land.
Sounds like just that, a tale.
Just a tale is all it was. So as you can see, even on Torment 3, my build is still good enough to almost one-shot these guys. Obviously, they are a bit chunkier in terms of their health, and when it comes to the amount of damage they can take compared to on Torment 2. But they are still going down pretty quick. It's when we get to the really beefy chunky bosses that my build starts to falter a bit. And of course the fact that I can't upgrade my gear anymore because they are legacy gear, and I would have to get a whole nother set of gear to upgrade them and such, is of course a bit of an issue, but it is what it is. I would just have to spend time farming more gear and such. And the problem with that is, as I mentioned, there are certain things that I don't have access to when it comes to farming better stuff until I finish the campaign. Which is why I was like, okay, if I'm going to try to get my druid some better gear, I need to finish the campaign so she can have access to some of that other stuff in the endgame that other characters have and she does not. But she's not the only one. There are other characters I've been holding off. I still haven't finished the campaign on my rogue or my sorceress. My sorceress is actually still in like Act 3 in the campaign, so my rogue actually got to the final act, so. And I have been enjoying, like, I've come up with an arrow build, or like a poison arrow build for my rogue, and I've been enjoying it. Plus, I also enjoyed the actress for the female rogue. I think she does a great job. Female sorceress, though, she leaves some to be desired when it comes to her voice acting, but she is better than the male sorcerer, at least in my opinion. Ooh, a Gilded Baron. I always do love playing during these treasure goblin events. It's always fun just seeing a whole bunch of extra treasure goblins running around.
Never gets old. Look, my hands are shaking.
Let's hope Albulan feels the same way about seeing you again.
By the way, Moo, how does the game audio sound, especially in comparison to me? I'm curious.
You will be given a rare gift, my friend. A glimpse into a realm that few know exist and fewer still ever touch. Its beauty will mark your soul for all time.
You've got him started now.
I was just a boy when I first reached past the veil and saw one of the ancient spirits. I knew then I would spend my life preserving this place.
Ah, so you've never been normal. I thought this all started when you trained me.
Thank you, Moo.
I'm not saying I wasn't afraid. The spirits are strange, grotesque, yet so very beautiful and fragile. Don't hide your fear, but do not shy away. Then, Albulan may hear your plea.
We'll open up a tear to the spirit realm, so you may call out to him. Piwu keu, weko ho wubi cha, ki ha pe ba.
Albulan? Albulan!
That didn't sound good.
Something's not right.
Oh no.
What was that?
Hollows have breached the spirit realm.
We have to go in there.
You and me, maybe. But them? The pain will shatter their mind.
I can do pain. If it'll help Neyrelle, I'll take the risk.
Neyrelle has poisoned the one thing that could save her. All of Nahantu's risk for her choices.
We'll need an entryway. He had worshippers once, many years ago. They might have left something to point the way. I'll check their old grounds.
So, Did you guys notice the shift there for Eru? Eru has, up to this point, been trying to be very helpful. One of his sayings is that in Nahantu, when help is needed, help is offered. But now Abulan has been discovered that is being either attacked or corrupted by what Neyrelle has brought to Nahantu. And all of a sudden that has now kind of started to shift Eru's tone about all of this. I want to try to make this right.
Me too. I shouldn't have snapped. But all this pain... I know she was guided here. But still, I curse the day she brought that stone to Nahantu.
Ah! What's this now?
I'll handle this.
Mephisto. Notice even our objective is now confront Mephisto. Back in the Fortress of Hatred we are.
Why did I have to be the one to choose? Did I even choose right?
You can even see here he's bigger than he was in the regular campaign. What are you talking about?
She cannot hear you, Wanderer. You think you know her, but I am one with her mind.
They put the world on me. Others' burdens always on me. Mother's health, Donan's grief, Lorath's failure.
Lorath.
And at the end of it all, a choice they should have.
Like how he goes back there to just watch.
Get out of her head, demon!
I can no more do that than could my daughter pull herself from your blood. We are one.
Where do I end? Where do you begin? No, no, not again!
It's worth noting this is supposed to represent the struggle that she is having internally.
They're my closest friends. They killed my mother. No, Lilith killed my mother. Because of me. I wasn't smart enough, fast enough. It's my fault, she said.
You will not turn me against her.
You misunderstand. I come to offer you a way to aid her. She is dying, but she doesn't need to. She will survive if she frees me from the stone. The prophecy speaks true. My brothers are coming, and when they arrive, they will not bargain with you, Wanderer. You will not defeat them, not alone. We were formidable allies in hell. Our partnership could yet bear fruit. Talk to Neyrelle when you reach her. Offer her this relief. You let her choose me once. She may yet choose me again.
Notice the visual of the blood trying to consume her. Nice visual storytelling there. And of course, disturbing imagery, because Diablo. Never short on disturbing imagery in a Diablo game.
You're back.
Yeah. I'm sure he's not going to be happy to hear about this. So, Mephisto reached out to me. Again.
How many times has he invited you to talk? How many times have you accepted?
More than I'd like.
More than I'd like. He thinks if he can get me alone, he can manipulate me. I know better than to listen to the wolf.
That beast really is Mephisto, then?
Just an aspect of him from what I can tell. The whole of him is held in the stone. He's getting stronger, though. That wolf has grown larger since I saw it last.
And what exactly did he say this time? Actually, don't tell me yet. I want to be sitting down when I hear the answer. Promise me we'll talk about this later.
Sure.
Come. Maka will be waiting for us.
Yeah, we have a spirit to help.
You are sure they are the one Akarat called for?
Hold on, you two. Let me clear out the area before we can actually talk. So what are we looking for?
Other shrines, ritual sites, anything connected to Albulan. Keep your guard up. The Lakuni have made a den of this place.
I'll say it again. I love that I can get the favor tokens in the Eternal Realms.
On that cliff face.
That you're not required to just play your seasonal character to get the favor tokens. Do y'all mind? Despite its age, the paint is stark and bold against the rock face. It depicts Abulan protecting humans from otherworldly entities.
Yiwu Kise. Mender of Veils. He looks like a guardian here. Perhaps he protected folks from lost spirits.
Just like the mosaic beneath Kurast.
Over there. Another one.
Okay, give us a second. We gotta clear out the area first. Was there a, No, never mind. I thought I missed, like, a chest back here. In this painting, Abulan confers a boon unto a group of humans. It appears as if he is giving them a sliver of his own power.
He's empowering people. Maybe that's how he could help Neyrelle.
Look, in the background. Might be the gateway.
I know those columns. They are not far from here.
Okay. So is this ritual like the last one?
If you consider a cold to be like dysentery, you're better off not asking. Let's just get it over with. Ready, Maka?
I am.
Hey, Paragon 263. Wonderful. Let's see. More life. Not enough dexterity. Get the bonus for that one. Total resistance. Ooh, shape-shifting damage. I'll do that. And then I can grab that next as well. Do what you must.
Royise, Wukise, Royise, Wuutsa, Wukbiwese, Wokbanki, Wu Chowam, Royise, Wukise, Royise, Wuutsa, Wokbiwese, Wokbanki, Wu Chowam, Pewu Socha. Weke pipa, simahe, chope nenchiowu, eba. Do not fight the pain. You will not win. Let it move you. Let it carry you through.
Oh, that doesn't sound pleasant. I love that he just shoves me through.
The spirits take a tall price for entry.
No kidding. Well, I've already shown you guys this on another stream on my Spiritborn, but this is the first time any of our characters in the story would have experienced this place outside of our Spiritborn. I feel like I'm ripping in half.
That'll be the ritual. It's what's keeping you in one piece. The spirit realm is constantly shifting, blending. You would too, unaided. That's the beauty of this place. It's raw energy given life. Every stone, every drop of water is no more dead than you are. Change, growth is the only law that governs here. It's nauseating, it's breathtaking, it's alien, it's primordial. And for spirits such as this handsome fellow, it's the most natural thing in the cosmos. If it helps, I feel the same pain. You're handling it better than most first-timers, even for one untrained in our ways. Now, let's go. Whatever threatens Abulan, threatens the whole of this realm.
I'm pretty sure that dialogue is what he says if you are not playing as a Spiritborn. Also, let me double check something real quick.
Ah! Feel that?
Rot on the air.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I might end up blocking any possible alerts, but at least visually, but won't block any audio. But anyways, I was just curious.
The spirits! They are already lost to corruption, Eru! So young!
You can already see the toll that all this is taking on Eru. Like, he can see that they are hostile to us and turned against us, but he just does not want to believe that these spirits have to be destroyed when some of them have not been around very long. So now we go check the other side, because this is a Diablo game, so of course we try to uncover the rest of the map. Now we'll go back this way.
Through here. I'll open the way. Behas Chimbi Waka.
He seems all right.
Go carefully.
Yeah, about that. Just to give you a little visual of what Abulan kind of looks like here. Kind of like one of those, how would I describe this? Like, I think there were some beings like a kind of like a centaur. Like the bottom half of his body, it looks kind of like, I don't know, like part lion, and then he has like the upper half of his body is a human with a different type of like spirit-like head. It's kind of like a centaur, but you know, a little different. What pains you, great spirit Abulan?
Hands upon hands upon hands upon hands.
Abulan! Don't you remember me?
We're too late.
You can see the lower half of his body looks like it's very corrupted. Oh, okay, that hurts. Ow. I'm kind of like showing him off a bit when it comes to like his mechanics and such. Fortunately, he wasn't hurting that much, but yeah.
No! No. Old friend.
So unfortunately, we had no choice.
We can't let him die for nothing. Power gathers there, in his heart. He can still help Neyrelle.
Then cut swiftly. The corruption is spreading.
So now imagine, like, Eru considers Abulan a dear friend that he's known for a very long time. So now imagine he now not only has to endure us having to kill him to essentially put him out of his misery, because we could see the pain that he was in. But now he has to witness us cutting out his heart to help someone that right now he is not very fond of. Because he's already made it clear he is essentially holding a lot of this against Neyrelle. I'm sorry for what I must do, Eru.
No. I was the one who failed Abulan. Ana accepi. Na hanan se nam nan pa na o nukwe. Sewik biwo saben. Pula lesi kuki se. Hula. Nahu he awaku.
Oh, Eru. Come. Let's give him space.
I want to give immense praise to Eru's voice actor. That is not the easiest thing to do when it comes to voice acting, to bring forth that kind of emotion through. And I felt for him in this moment. I'm sorry, Eru. I didn't want it to end like that.
From death springs new life. That was an ugly rot. But the spirits will change it, as it has changed them. I only wish Eru could see.
Will the heart be enough to free Neyrelle?
Go and find out. I'll hang back for Eru. When he's back on his feet, I'll send him to meet you. The council will want to know what's happened. And listen, you did what was needed in there. My circle will not soon forget.
If you say so. And so, back to the durance of hate we go. Now, in case you're wondering, how is that heart going to help Neyrelle? Well, I'll give you a couple of guesses as to how. It's certainly not the most pleasant thing. Eru, I'm sorry about Abulan.
Don't be. He was sick. You gave him a gift. Mercy. I didn't have it in me to do that for him. So, thank you. Now, tell me. Do you think you can do it again?
What?
I mean, Neyrelle.
You really think she's been lost?
No. Never saw the point of despair. But we'd be fools not to consider all the cards. She might still be fighting. She might not. Either way, she'll still need you. Focus on that, my friend. Come what may, you'll be there for her.
Neyrelle and I have eagerly awaited you, Wanderer.
Yes, I'm sure you have, Mephisto.
The way we took before is blocked.
This way is blocked as well.
It's gotten worse in here.
Hello, Akarat.
You've done well to come this far.
Akarat. He's still here. A good sign Neyrelle is still holding on.
I hope you guys have been paying attention to how different Eru has gotten as we have progressed throughout this story. Just in terms of his tone and some of the things he is saying. Oh. That seemed like a weird laggy moment right there. Alright, so we go back this way to check the other area. This is what you do in a Diablo game. You find out where you're supposed to go, and then you turn around and go to the area you didn't go. Even if it's a small little area like this. It's like, alright, I covered the whole map. We're good. Yep.
She was here before. Where's she gone?
Oh boy.
Gone, with a wave of the paw. A miracle maker, just like the old myths say. Or the doctrine, if you ask the Zakarum. To tell you the truth, it wasn't by coincidence that I found your body floating down the river. It was him who sent me to you.
Really? Well, remember that there were some villagers talking about how they had seen a lion in the jungle. Whoa! What in the world? I'm getting some weird laggy moments in the game right now. And some of them are like, ah, lion and a Hantu. That's ridiculous. But of course, doesn't it make sense that Akarat would still be looking over this, considering what is going on and what's involved? I should re-enable my potion and incense there. There we go.
Never thought I'd have the personal help of Akrat himself. Or, rather, his spirit. Though I suppose mythical help is needed to face mythical evil. What did Mephisto tell you, anyway? Back in the fields.
He actually thought he could convince me to let him out of the stone.
Hell, he's done enough damage from inside it.
That moment when you look at the clock and you go, "Oh gosh, it's 10:30 and I haven't even finished my energy drink." Well, now this, the spirit of Akarat himself, the one who bore the torch of light to worlds unknown. The one who rose from the grips of evil to let forth her inner light. The one who wrote the words of Akarat for all sanctuary to hear. The one who healed corruption from this light, lost land. The one who carved from Akarat's light our holy order of the Zakarum. Excuse me, the one who charted holy pilgrimage from Akarat's light-filled steps. What is this chamber?
I never wanted to be immortalized. Never wanted my words cited in the justification of wrongdoing. The Zakarum did all that. And worse. But they were enabled by my loved ones. My dedicants. They made sure that when I died, I left behind much more than I intended. Words. Images. This form I take now, even. I think this room was built to honor them. And though they betrayed me, though I should be angry, it gladdens me to see their faces after all these years.
Weren't you human? How did you become a spirit?
I was once a part of Akarat, I think. He was indeed human, and so very loved. So much that when he lay dying, none of his dedicants would let him go as he wished. One of them, the first of the Spirit-born, found a way to chase his soul to the spirit realm. I do not know what she did there, only that it hurt when I was born.
Why didn't you just tell us what we needed? We needed Abulan's help from the start.
Had you sought Abulan before going to Neyrelle, you would have returned to find her dead, or worse, puppeted by her enemy. She was fading even then. For days she has battled Mephisto's influence. But the sight of you, the reminder that she is not alone, was more powerful than any potion. By being there in that moment, you helped her more than you could ever know.
What I love about that bit of dialogue there is how it emphasizes the power of somebody mattering to you, being there for you in a specific moment where they perhaps need you the most, means more to them than you can possibly imagine. Just the presence of you there, or just them seeing you there, is so powerful for them and has such a powerful effect because that's how much it matters to them and how much you matter to them. I love what it's saying there. So why are you helping us?
Spoken so freely.
It is beautiful to wander free of shame. I help you to help Neyrelle. Nahantu depends on her. Say it plain, Eru. An honest question for an honest answer.
It was she who brought the prime evil here to begin with. She who drew the hollows.
The stone woke the hollows, but Mephisto planted them centuries ago. They were here when I still walked as a mortal, when I first fought and scarred the wolf, long before the fall of Kurast. The stone is bound to her soul, and the stone must be put to rest. Saving her soul will save all of us. Go. She needs you now.
I like how Akrad points out it's not her fault, it's Mephisto's fault. Don't turn your anger and bitterness about what's been happening on her when she is not the one at fault here. Now this room you're probably going to recognize. Because I probably did, because I certainly do. If you recall, when we went into the Durance of Hate in Diablo 2 to face Mephisto himself, this is that very same area. Because there it is. The portal to hell. The one that Diablo used to return to hell. It's still here all these years later. You guys remember the layout of this room, right? You're ready to fight some of the minions, and then you'd make your way over here, and then...
Neyrelle!
Let's clear the area. Get her some space.
Just quickly showing the layout. They did a really good job of basically recreating the same room that we fought Mephisto in Diablo 2. Like, because you can see right there, that's the walkway Diablo used to get to the portal. We also used it after we defeated Mephisto to go to Act 4. Yeah, like, you can see this area over here. Yeah, almost exactly the same. Eru, give me the heart.
I couldn't get the Guardian's blessing, but we think consuming its heart will free you. And Tazarek, you asked me if anything I do matters. I've been thinking about what I said. That with good allies, the weight of our burdens gets easier. Neyrelle. It's me. I'm here for you. You don't have to keep doing this alone.
So, would you all be willing to eat that heart?
It's all right.
Just want to say really quick, that is one of my absolute favorite cutscenes in the entire game. Partly because I love those cutscenes where it allows our character to finally... I mean, not only do they get to visually show off our character, which is always cool, but as I've been saying, this expansion really allowed our character and their voice actors to actually be, you know, actually do something with their characters, because the focus was always on either Lorath or Donan in the cutscenes in the base game, or Lilith. Our character was just kind of always there in the background. Here, our character finally gets to be up front and actually, you know, have a meaningful impact. And I love, once again, how it emphasizes the power of those words, saying those words to somebody. I'm here for you. Those words are powerful when you say them to somebody, to truly let them know, I am here for you. Especially when you know that they are in a position where they really need you. I would be lying if I didn't say that due to a number of times I've heard in real life where somebody has taken their own life because for one reason or another, but perhaps maybe someone didn't let go to them and let them know that they were there for them, that we lost them. Because it always breaks my heart every single time I hear that someone has taken their own life. It's why I'm so against anytime I hear somebody say, oh, like in a game like, say, in Overwatch, where somebody says KYS, I am so vehement against that and report it instantly, because we have far too much of that in real life. We do not need any more of that. And sometimes just going to somebody that you may have an idea may be going through some tough times, and just going to them and letting them know, hey, I'm here for you, could have more impact and meaning to that person than you could possibly know. And I love that this game emphasized that in that moment. It's one of my favorite moments because of that. Sorry, I got a little emotional there. Where did the wolf go?
It costs Mephisto to manifest his herald, just as it costs me to hold control of the stone. But that heart you fed me, it was like nothing I've ever felt before. It threw the life back into me. For now, the stone is secure. And while that lasts, we will have reprieve from the wolf.
I was gonna ask whether or not your stomach's gonna agree with that heart, but it's probably not a normal heart as we would probably think of it. I do still pose the question, in that situation, that didn't sound very pleasant for her to try to eat and consume. You could hear her just choking and gagging as she's trying to not only eat that thing, but swallow it, which I imagine was not very pleasant to do so. I'm sure it didn't taste very good. So, a snake would say, how did it taste? But, it's good to see you alive, my friend.
I had words rehearsed in case you or Lorath ever tracked me down. All I can say now is I'm really happy to see you too.
You did good in there.
I had help. Thank you for that.
I'm Eru, but don't thank me. Thank the spirit whose heart I carved out for you. It was a gamble and a half, but you made it worth it. You saddled the stallion. You're back on top of the stone. Now I have to ask, what the hell do you plan to do with it?
A very good question. But its answer demands some research. Where's Nahantu's best library?
To Kurast, then. Good. Whatever it is you're thinking, you'll need the Council's blessing anyway.
Promise me you'll rest after.
How could I? Every dream is Mephisto's stage. Once we deal with the stone, then I will rest.
I mentioned the possible pause points. This to me is a good pause point when it comes to then going out and doing some side content, as it were. Neyrelle is no longer in danger of being essentially consumed by Mephisto. And she is now safely here in Kurast with
Not
the
like I
stone
used to anyway. Stick to the trees and keep
essentially
safe.
being put in check is what has happened there. The influence of Abulan's heart being able to basically help give her the capability to, at least for the time being, deal with the influence of Mephisto and the stone. So we are actually going to go ahead and take a break on the stream here. I'm going to go ahead and head to the bathroom, perhaps grab a little something. And then we're either going to continue with Diablo 4 by doing some side quests, when there are several here in Kurast alone, or I may be swapping possibly to Overwatch, though honestly I'm kind of tempted to just kind of leave Overwatch alone for the time being until the mid-season update, which is this week. The pre-load of that content is already out. There's just confusion on whether or not it's actually going to go live tomorrow or on the 8th. There's a bit of confusion, speculation on that. I wouldn't mind if it's tomorrow. And honestly, I've been waiting for the mid-season update, especially for Stadium, because I've been waiting for those turrets to show up so that people aren't just walking up to our spawn room and dancing in front of our faces. You know, I'm getting real sick and tired of that. So anyways, I might just kind of like Some of this music is probably not going to match the game, but then again, I may just go ahead and put on my Diablo playlist here. Let y'all enjoy the music of Diablo while I am away.